just become control decks.
Well, we're going to be underway here in game 2. We'll find out how players at sideboard soon enough. And here is a Thoughtseize off a Watery Grave. So Ricardo is going to fall down to 16. And we'll take a look at Kiefer's hand. You'll find a Steam Fence, an Island, a Polluted Delta, Scalding Tarn, Negate, along with a Snapcaster Mage, and a Vendilion Click.
Penguillion Click.
Yes, that is it. Negate is going to bite the dust. It's easy to say. See, Ricardo's going to write down the contents of Kiefer's hand as he falls down to 16 life. Jack with plenty of lands to operate.
Yeah, this is good. I mean, making land drops is pretty key in the mirror matches. You know, you don't want to fall behind when you're trying to fight counterspell wars and whatnot. And Jack's hand also doesn't really give away what he's up to after board, because the Vendilion Click is pretty normal to just have in there as this thing that can close out games, and Negate is a pretty obvious card that's going to come out of the sideboard. But Ricardo has no idea whether or not, you know, he needs to be fearful of the combo or not.
Steam Vents. I'm passing on the turn. There's a Sulfur Fall for Ricardo. Dispel the draw. There's a Polluted Delta from Kiefer.
Deck list in front of you right now. Please click that. Make sure that is filled out for me. Please do that now.
For Gallegos, no third land. And in these control mirrors, assuming that we have both boarded into control decks, that's always bad news.
Even if they're still combo decks, I think the land drops matter a lot.
Steam Vents here from Kiefer. So he falls down to 19 from a Polluted Delta. And Jack will take a draw step. It's an Island. And we're going to head back Gallegos' way. It's an Inquisition of Kozilek.
So no land drop, but at least it's a spell that he can cast this turn.
We might see Vendilion Click here from Jack Kiefer.
It's possible, but if that's not a big part of his plan, he might just table his hand and be like, yeah, whatever.
All right, center players, I'm going to hand you over to your head judge.
Yeah, he'll show the grip. Click, Electrolyze, Snapcaster Mage, Spell Snare, Dispel, and a Scalding Tarn.
Thank you all.
See what Gallegos does want to select here with the Inquisition.
First, we're going to welcome you all. You're all sitting
He's got a Lightning Bolt in hand. There's a Spell Snare over there. Terminate as well. Just stuck on 2 lands.
Yeah, so it looks like he's not too scared of the Vendilion because of the Lightning Bolt. Jack could certainly just wait a turn and have, you know, either a Spell Snare or Dispel as backup.
Today, we're going to be doing 50-minute rounds.
It looks like Dispel's going to bite the dust.
Party call at 0 minutes after
Yeah, this is tough for Ricardo because I think generally in these spots you would just prefer to take the Snapcaster Mage, but since he's still stuck on mana, he can't really afford to do that because he doesn't know if he's going to get to play a long game or not. You know, he needs to get out of the early game. Make sure that his opponent can't just play a threat with Dispel backup.
Electrolyze is going to go upstairs, and this will resolve. So 2 damage will be dealt to Gallegos, and we'll head back Kiefer's way. Serum Vision's the draw. So he'll start his turn with that. We'll draw a card, and now scry 2. One goes on top very quickly, the other is going to go to the bottom. Visions is done resolving. It's a Scalding Tarn, is land number 4. And now we're going to head back Gallegos' way. Can he draw a land? It does not appear he can. Looks like a Kolagon's command. Kiefer going to sacrifice the Scalding Tarn here on Gallegos' end step.
Shuffle away the card that he put on top with Serum Visions.
That's notable. And he kept it so quick. He split the difference on the scry. Looks like he's got plans for a Vendilion Click here.
Well, since he's not bothering to leave open Spell Snare and set it up so he can protect it, I imagine he doesn't care about this too much.
Yep. Gonna target Kiefer with this. 2 Snapcaster Mages, Spell Snare, Terminate, Vendilion Click for Ricardo, along with Kolagon's command. It's a good hand, it just doesn't have lands.
Right. Yeah, something like a Serum Visions would probably be Ricardo's best draw. So you try and hit the 3rd land, maybe use Snapcaster Mage to flash back the Serum Visions, find another land.
Kiefer gonna let him just keep with the Vendilion Click trigger.
And I like that. It's, I mean, you're not really gaining a whole lot by just taking one of his cards. I mean, he has 2 Snapcaster Mages, so you can't really deny him of that. You really just don't want him to hit land drops.
Looks like another Vendilion Click may have been the draw. No, actually, it's I take it back. It's the promo Serum Visions. That's going to resolve. Terminate the draw. Time to scry 2. There's at least a Flooded Strand there, and both cards stay on top very quickly. So looks like Gallegos has finally found some lands. Kiefer has plenty of them, but he doesn't appear to have very much action. As Gallegos is going to take the top card of his deck, immediately place it on the battlefield. It's a Blue Delta. Kiefer will sacrifice a Flooded Strand. Now it makes me wonder what he kept on top of that scry from Serum Ridge a little while ago that he ended up shuffling away.
I don't know. We saw the bottom card was the island.
Yeah.
But it looks like Kiefer thinks he's good on lands.
You know, just draw another one. I think he's got at least one more in hand, too. So flooding out a little bit. And now Gallegos is starting to find lands, and we know his hand is good. That's what happens when you're mana screwed for a little while.
Yeah, I mean, his hand is mostly reactive, but it's still really good. It's like this wall of removal and counter spells that Jack is eventually going to have to get through.
Yeah. Can't forget about the Vendilion Click that's over there, too, if you want to get a little bit more proactive.
True.
Kiefer will draw another land. He'll play the island. Pass the turn back.
Thank you for your patience. I'm going to turn you back over to your head judge.
And it looks like Ricardo's going to make a move here.
He's going to start by sacrificing Polluted Delta.
Let's go ahead and select our...
See what land he wants to search up. He'll go with a Steam Vent that are on the battlefield tapped, and now he'll sacrifice a Flooded Strand.
Work on keeping your tables clean.
And that'll also search up Steam Vents.
Throw your trash away with one of your trash receptacles out there.
So I think with Jack fetching Steam Vents pretty aggressively, Ricardo can kind of infer that he doesn't have Blood Moon, so he's probably safe to get these non-basics too.
Yeah, I think so. The draw's a Lightning Bolt. Looks like Gallegos has 8 cards in hand now. So we'll see if he actually just wants to play something on his main phase or be happy discarding. A couple copies of Terminate in hand, maybe you can let one of those go.
Might let go of the Lightning Bolt instead.
Does that one play a huge role in this matchup?
Not really. I mean, you can hit a Pestermite or maybe finish off a Planeswalker or something, but generally it doesn't really hit the things that matter.
Okay. Well, looks like I might see a main phase Snapcaster Mage.
Yeah, go to flashback to Serum Visions maybe.
There's a Spell Snare. Jack Kiefer does not want that resolving. We'll head back his way. Well, if you're going to draw a land, Desert Lighthouse doesn't hurt.
Yeah, I used to think that this card was, I don't know, kind of like superfluous. Like, do you really need this in your deck? But so many games play out this way.
Here's Thoughtseized. It's certainly not a free roll. I was going to say that it feels pretty free, but having a colorless land in a deck like this, there's a cost there.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, you could, there's so many options you could play. You could have something like Ghost Quarter or Tectonic Edge. You could have Cavern of Souls, which is especially potent with your sideboard Teferi.
Yep.
But time and time again, Desolate Lighthouse has just been great.
Remand, Snapcaster Mage, Scalding Tarn. That's the grip. Yep, there goes Snappy. Thoughtseize is done resolving. Gallegos is down to 10, oddly enough. Here's a Lighthouse activation. There goes a Scalding Tarn. Draw step. Sulfur Falls. And then Gallegos, with all those cards in hand, just had some mana issues at the beginning. Here's a lot of mana. There's a Keranos God of Storms. With Remand as protection.
Oh, Keranos, generally a pretty fast clock, but especially with your opponent at 10. Like, this is a huge threat.
Yes. Unlikely to be able to turn into a 6-5, but that's not what really matters right now.
Correct.
And Gallegos knows about the remand that's over there. Here's Snapcaster Mage. Kiefer wants to take a look at the graveyard before deciding if he's going to let this resolve.
It looks like just Lightning Bolt for a target. So it looks like Ricardo's like, all right, well, that's going to resolve. I have to get aggressive.
Yep, and you certainly do. Maybe trying to get Kiefer to cast his remand right now on the Snapcaster Mage, because Gallegos does have a spell snare in hand. There is Lightning Bolt. And he's just going to remand the Lightning Bolt. Draw a card. Keranos is in. And now the race is certainly on. Rending Volley the draw. Gallegos going to come across for 2. Kiefer will fall down to 14. And now Keranos will reveal Desolate Lighthouse. So you get to draw that and then draw another card.
And it was the Snapcaster Mage.
That's fun. In the draw step, it looks like a Vendilion Click will be cast. I can't forget,
Oh,
too.
no. Was it a Cryptic?
Ooh, that's interesting. I was going to say, we can't forget, if it was a Snapcaster Mage, there's Electrolyze in the graveyard.
Yeah.
But we also know that Gallegos does have a Spell Snare in his hand. But it looks like it was a Cryptic command.
All the awesome blue cards look the same. I got confused.
They're all really good, too. Here's Lightning Bolt.
This is one way to beat a Keranos.
Yeah.
It is very difficult to remove once it's on the battlefield.
You got to get your race on. There's Bloodstained Mire. Here come beatdowns. Push you down to 9, pass the turn back. Here's a Lighthouse activation. Time to draw and discard. Found a Serum Visions. Discard a Scalding Tarn. 10 to 9 the life totals. Keranos trigger. Electrolyze. Snapcaster Mage, you got to go. There's another Lighthouse.
Standard players.
That Electrolyze is going to give Jack a lot of breathing room.
Yep.
Our clock for our event is the one that's furthest to the left. Just
Serum
follow the
Visions.
clock up there.
And you get to scry 2. There's an island and a negate there.
Make sure you communicate with your opponents. Most of our jobs.
We'll see one on top, one on bottom.
Resolving issues you guys have with communicating with each other.
Now we got another Serum
That's
Visions.
result of this. Come up
So
here
draw
to
a
your
card. Scry
right
2.
in front of the stage,
Roast
you're facing in.
within those cards.
Nice box label, match results list for you.
Getting a good look at the grip.
We will be playing 8 rounds of Swiss.
Got one on top, one on the bottom. Vision's done resolving.
With that,
So active Keranos, 2 Desolate Lighthouses, double the amount of lands as your opponent. Looking pretty good for Jack, but he's only at 9 life.
Yeah, the trick now is just not to get burnt out, right?
Right. So keeping the negate on top of the Serum Visions, definitely like that.
Because there are some, I would say, poor cards in Ricardo's hand at this point. Like, Terminate doesn't matter all that much, stuff like that. Here's negate. Going to go after Kolaghan's Command. Kolaghan's Command is trying to deal 2 damage to Kiefer and return Snapcaster Mage, so it's certainly a burnout plan. Here's Snapcaster Mage in response to the Spell Snare that's on negate. Looks like Kryptos.
He's got the extra mana, might as well use the big one, get the extra card.
Yep. Cryptic will resolve, Snapcaster is in, negate will resolve. So now you see the board. Cryptic Command exiled because of Snapcaster Mage. And now, Gallegos will sacrifice a Bloodstained Mire, fall down to 9, I believe. It's tied up for the moment.
Jack's sequencing is pretty good this game. Like, he basically never has an unspent mana. And he has some excess lands in his hand that he can use to discard to Desolate Lighthouse, but he made sure to have enough lands exactly to, like, win this little counter war.
It's been impressive so far.
Yeah, and he knows his game plan, he knows his opponent's game plan, and just following through with it.
Gallegos will untap with those 5 lands, take a draw. Picked up a copy of Serum Visions, so he'll start there. And I'll draw a card. It's an island. Take a look at the top 2. Those look like they're going to the bottom pretty quickly. One of them was an island, but it's not about that anymore. And you actually see the hand here. It is reactive, but it's not particularly useful. It's 2 terminates. Let's make it 1 now, since one's just been cast to take care of Snapcaster Mage, and a Rending Volley.
And neither of those kills Keranos. Not even close.
Reveal, Sulfur Falls. You get to draw that, and now another card. I think a Pestermite may have just been found. We might have a main phase Lighthouse activation.
And I like that. You know you're going to use the Lighthouse at end of turn. You don't have anything else to do with your mana, really. So might as well do it now. You can find something like a Serum Visions.
Yep. Looks like Lightning Bolt may have been the draw. The burnout plan still sort of online here for our Gallegos.
Yeah, time's running out, but...
Here's Pestermite. Looks like Rending Volley might be going that way. Electrolyze is going to go upstairs, but
oh, you just let him tap the
just
land.
let him tap the land, yep. Tap the Steam Vents. Electrolyze does resolve. Gallegos falls down to 7. Kiefer asks, can I untap? The answer is yes. Dispel.
It's a pretty nice pickup. That kind of locks it up at this point.
I've seen worse.
Ladies and gentlemen, there are
Keranos going upstairs. Going to knock Gallegos down to 4.
today's Legacy.
Pestermite going to try to knock him down to 2.
If you would like to play Legacy, please come
And given how many cards Kiefer has seen this game, I don't think Splinter Twin's in his deck anymore.
5 minutes remaining to sign up for today's Legacy Premier Eye.
There's a Dispel to go out to terminate. Rending Volley. Can't counter that one.
You can try.
I guess you can do whatever you want with your
Yeah.
cards, yeah.
They're your cards, man.
That's true. Pestermite down. Gallegos draws. Remember, Lightning Bolt in hand, not Inquisition was the draw. We'll take a look at Kiefer's hand, assuming this does resolve. But it's not clear that it will. Looks like we'll have a Pestermite in response. Gonna tap Blood Crypt. Yep, there's your grip. Roast in 2 lands. Yep, Roast is gonna bite the dust.
All right, so the shields are down right now. Unfortunately, Ricardo's just coming up a little bit short here.
A very quick Lighthouse activation. Sulfur Falls will bite the dust. Lightning Bolt is the reveal from Keranos. That's going to bring Gallegos down to 1. And in just a moment here, I believe Jack Kiefer, with a few minutes to spare, is going to win this match. Pestermite's going to die to Lightning Bolt.
But now you're empty-handed, and in 1 life, and I have a Lightning.
Yeah, and that's going to do it. Jack Kiefer's going to win this match here over Ricardo Gallegos. 2-0. Blue-Red Twin will take care of Grix's Twin. And for the 13-year-old from Boulder, Colorado, he is 8-1-1 here in Dallas. Pretty impressive stuff so far.
Yeah, I can't remember ever being 8-1 in a modern tournament, so...
At any age.
At any age,
Yeah.
really, let alone 13.
This is very, very impressive for a youngster to be able to make this sort of run with what is a very difficult deck to play.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is not the easiest one. You know, like, Lantern might be one of the hardest ones,
Yes.
right? But Splinter Twin is tough.
Yeah, I don't play that deck for a reason.
Yeah.
I am far too dumb.
Like, you can put Splinter Twin on a Deceiver Exarch. That's easy.
Maybe.
Right? But, like, there are so many diverging game plans, and your roles shift, like, turn to turn.